Hello my marvellous sausages. Now I wanted to have a chat with you about the Vault and the changes that are upcoming with Beyond Light, because they had a big twab with all loads of different bits and bobs in it, which I'm sure you do know about, but I wanted specifically to talk about all the inventory bits and bobs that are disappearing and having changes made to them, so we all know what the hell is going on once Beyond Light drops its trousers in a week and a half's time. So first of all, let's talk about the Crucible tokens and the Vanguard tokens. These were handy to turn in to get your power level up to whatever the soft cap is for that season, and they tend to come in around your current level, so it's really handy for filling in slots that you had at a lower power level to bring up your overall power level. Well, that's all gone. That way of leveling up is going to be stopped and capped, because starting next season, gear received from collections and turning in tokens will have a lower power than in previous seasons. Gear earned through the token purchases will be 20 power below your power level, 20 below your power level, and collection buyback, so whenever you go into your collection and get something out of there, they will be capped at 1050 power. So what you're really going to be finding is that you're doing it for rolls, not cheese rolls or ham rolls, but weapon rolls and armor rolls, and then infusing them up. So that level of progression, that particular alleyway of progression, is going to be closed off to us. And as a quick aside, if you weren't aware what the caps were, you've got the soft cap, which is going to be at 1200, and then the hard cap, so that's for your powerful gear. Whenever you get your powerful gear, that will bring you up to 1250 power level, and then the pinnacle cap, so that's anything that you get from a pinnacle reward, will take you up to 1260, and then of course your artifact will artificially increase your power level throughout the entire season, and then be reset back to 1260 once the new season begins, season 13. Does that make sense? Yes, I think it does. Okay, moving on to planetary materials. You know, the stuff you harvest on the different planets. Well, some of them are soon to become orphans, because as you know, anything that's sitting under a pyramid is being sucked into the black hole known as the Destiny Content Vault. So the materials this affects are phase glass needles from Io, phase gas needles of course, alkane dust from Titan, simulation seeds from Mercury, and Seraphite from Mars. Now, for this upcoming season, so that's the season of the hunt, season 12, they'll still be able to be used as normal, but of course you won't be able to harvest them anymore because the planets will have disappeared. So whatever you've got in your inventory, you will still be able to use. Then as after the season of the hunt finishes, so that's on to the next season, which is season 13, they will be of no longer use to man nor beast, nor woman nor beast. Now, of course, if you do have any left at the end of season 12, you can take them to the spider in old Fat Guts forearms on the Tangled Shore, and he'll give you a tiny measly amount of glimmer for them. So keep that in mind. Talking of the spider, he's very useful when it comes to material exchange, and I think I'll talk about this because it is to do with our inventory, really, but there are some pretty big changes coming with him in Beyond Light. So the first big thing is he won't be selling legendary shards anymore, because apparently Bungie said hardly anybody bought them off him, and anyway, we've probably all got about 20 million of them each at the moment, or at least 3,467 of them, like I've got. So instead of the legendary shards, they're going to be selling enhancement prisms. Now, those are pretty rare drops in the game. They usually come at the end of all Nightfall ordeals and things like that, and they're the material that you use in part for upgrading your weapons and gear to masterwork level. So if you do that, it's pretty important. But these items are pretty highly valued in the game, and now to buy a prism, it's going to cost you 400 legendary shards. Yes, you heard that right, 400 legendary shards, and he's pretty stingy with them according to the chaps at Bungie, so you can only purchase a maximum of 3 a week from him. And anyway, after a couple of months, they're bound to change the amounts, because they always do. Trust me, I've been here a long time. Now then, here is the list of everything else that is going to be disappearing from your vault. So I'm going to read through every single one of them, so it's quite a long list. So if you see something you go, oh no, well, it's just tough doodahs they're going. So from the top, we've got advanced paradox amplifiers, adventure tokens, you know, for doing the adventures on various planets, all bounties and quests from Season of the Forge, Season of the Drifter, and Season of Opulence. They're all disappearing. All ritual and pinnacle weapon quests are disappearing, but this is really interesting. The gear will become available at our Monument to Lost Lights exotic archive. So we have a name for the exotic weapon exchange or vendor, or how we're going to get it in the future. It's going to be called the Monument to Lost Lights exotic archive, and I'm sure that's going to have the exotic ciphers involved with it in some way as well, but we'll just see. Okay, moving on to the bees. We've got the Black Armory schematics consumables. We've got the Boons of Opulence from the Season of Opulence, obviously. Braytech schematics. Cade's odds and ends. Concentrated Radiolorian cultures. Dance party keys from the tower, they're all gone. Expired ramen coupons, that's these babies here. And people are really upset about these going because they're the last things that are to do with Cade. So they've been having them blown up and printed out and hung on their walls because you'll never see them again. That's quite a nice thing, isn't it? Sorry. Anyway, Faction Wars materials. I don't even bloody know what the hell that was all about. Faded card. Pass. 5 of Swords challenge card is going. That's to do with the Nightfalls, and there's obviously big changes coming to Nightfalls because obviously the 5 of Swords challenge card is buggering off. Forge polymers, they're going. Imperials, and that's to do with Opulence. Letter fragments. Loot-a-palooza keys, they're off. Lost memory fragments. Modulus reports consumables, thank God I've got millions of those and I never use them. Motes for the Reckoning, so that's the weak, middling or powerful motes. Collector, Invader, Reaper, Sentry votes. Votes? I've got the election on the brain. Motes, they're all off, so there's lots of more space being created there. Notes from Cade, they're off. Obsidian accelerators. Obsidian Radiance temper effects, including those applied on weapons. Override frequencies, paradox amplifiers, radiant matrix, Radiolorian cultures, Rasputin armory codes, resonant stem consumables, rune finders, synths. So for collector synths, sentry synths, invader synths, and reaper synths, goodbye. All the tokens from the factions, Dead Orbit tokens, Future Wall Cult, that was close, and New Monarchy, transcripts, they're off, treasure maps from the EDZ, Titan, Io, Nessus, Mercury, and Hellas Basin on Mars, they're all off, and finally, Wealth of the Emperor buffs. That's it. So that's the lot of everything that's coming out of our vault on Beyond Light's launch on November the 10th. So we're going to go in there and a lot of us are going to find a lot of empty slots with it. So I think that's a good thing, but there's a few things there that you may wistfully wish were staying, but generally, tough buggery, it's all going. Right, I thought I just wanted to pass all that info on to you now, so I'm going to clean out my vault and weep into my tea about the expired ramen tokens. Goodbye.